Welcome. This is my show, and I'm so honored and my distinguished guest, Senator Perkins, who's here to share some holiday cheer with us and also talk about some things that's very interesting to him. And I'm Sylvia Gina Hunt, your host, and this is our honorable senator. Welcome, Senator, and happy holidays. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for inviting me. Happy Kwanzaa, happy holidays to you and to all your wonderful guests. And thank you for this wonderful show and the effort that you've been making to communicate with the community about things that are going on, not only in government, in the arts and culture.
Yes.
You've been doing a wonderful job. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Yes, no, thank you. So just tell me, what's the first thing on your mind around the holiday in Kwanzaa? What's the first thing that you think of that you would like to straighten out or
Well,
share?
the first thing I'd like to do is share Kwanzaa
Okay.
with our young people, and that's exactly what I'll be doing this evening upon leaving your wonderful show and sharing with them what Kwanzaa means to them, what Kwanzaa means to the community. And no matter what the Kwanzaa message is for the children, it's always a day of fun and gift giving and play. And so we're happy that this is a moment for them to celebrate the culture and at the same time experience the gift giving and whatever else they enjoy. And we're happy as leaders in the neighborhood to be able to provide them with that experience, especially at the end of this year and the beginning of the new year. But I'm also we're thinking about, where is our neighborhood going, where is our community going, where is Manhattan Neighborhood Network going, all those types of concerns that we depend upon, that we like to support. We're looking forward to seeing how they can continue to move in the right direction in terms of our community, in terms of your listening audience and the work that you are doing.
Right, no, that's true. That's so wonderful. And I do send a prayer, and I'm so grateful that you're here. And yes, Kwanzaa is wonderful to me, especially as you're a leader in our community for everybody. And I really feel that you go out and reach out to everybody. So
well, we've been blessed that we have had the opportunity to represent this community. It's for the most part known as the Harlem district, but it also includes parts of El Barrio, East Harlem, which sometimes is called Spanish Harlem. It also includes parts of the Upper West Side, Morningside Heights area, as well as the area known as Washington Heights. So it's a pretty diverse district centered in what we know as Central Harlem, but it includes the surrounding communities that border Harlem, and in fact it even goes into some parts of the Bronx. So it's been a very exciting opportunity for me to serve as the state senator. Hopefully one day soon I'll be serving as the congressman. But
I know you will. That's great.
In the meantime, though, we're enjoying this Kwanzaa season, and I'm looking forward to getting back uptown because we're having a big celebration with our young people for Kwanzaa, and that's going to be exciting too.
And what an extravaganza! I know it is, because I've been to several. So that is just great. And we won't make this the last time. We're going to make this many times where you can come on and share with us and tell us about our community.
In fact, thank you for making that offer, because I would like to somehow or other have some regular arrangement with you to give you an update on the work that we're doing and to find out from your audience.
Well, we would be honored
what types of concerns they might have. You have the way of even offering them to call, and we can have a
Well, you can certainly give them your email right now and your number for your constituents out here to make the world better.
I can be reached at perkins@nysenate.gov. perkins@nysenate.gov. And as well as you can call my office at 212-222-7315. And if you have any questions, concerns, criticisms, problems that you think we need to be addressing that we're not addressing, we welcome it.
Okay.
We're not just looking for flattery. We're looking for complaints as well.
Okay.
And if we're falling short, don't be shy in letting us know, because we will receive and then we will try to do better.
Okay, I know that's true, because I realized that with this homeless situation going on, and I know it just hurts everybody, especially in the wintertime.
Sure,
what do you think about that?
The winter's very, very rough on the homeless, and the city is reaching out to through our mayor, de Blasio, and to try to accommodate that population.
Okay.
In some instances, it's easier to do than in other instances in terms of people who are interested in coming out from the cold or whose housing accommodations we can address. And then there are those who prefer to, in somehow or other, not to be housed, and they kind of, I guess, a little used to being, you know, in the streets, and don't always readily want to be put into a shelter or some other kind of accommodation. But nevertheless, the city is well ready, I believe, to address that population in terms of the homelessness, and especially as the weather gets worse.
Right. So that's good. They have something in place.
Yeah, they have a pretty good operation over the years in terms of attempting to accommodate that. And by the same token, there also has to be initiatives taken for those of us in the legislature, as well as in the city council and in Congress, to try to create even more affordable housing, so that we can address those who really need it. And obviously there's a shortage in that regard, and there's a very, very important need for us to address that.
Yes, that's so true. Because even for myself, I also find that sometimes the rents are just so high.
Yeah, as they say, the rents are too damn high.
Yeah, it's very difficult. You know, I struggle, run here and I run there, but it's even the projects is just like I'm in the projects, but I mean, I know people that really, you know, just really struggling because the rent is just so high, even in the project. I'm just thinking that.
Well, for the most part, thank goodness, the public housing provides enough support for the vast majority of those who live there, but nevertheless, for those whose incomes grow and therefore don't necessarily fully qualify for the subsidy, it gets to be more expensive. New York is very, very expensive, and getting, even as you point out, in public housing, it's getting to be costly.
It is. Well, it's still. Do you consider New York still for everyone? Do you think that everybody can have an opportunity to get over here, and people that go to school here, surely should they have to go outside, or would they be pushed out because they can't afford to?
Well, it's no question about that it's challenging for people to be able to live in New York City, and we have to do what we have to do in terms of our public policies and programs to make it more affordable, not only on a local level, but we need to support on a national level as well. And that is not simply a matter of affordability in terms of housing, but even the other costs of living in New York City are going up, in terms of what it costs to maintain a family as far as food, clothing, and shelter is concerned. So it is a challenging period, and those of us who have the privilege of serving are challenged to try to bring home the resources through our budgets and other means, so that the doors of opportunity, whether it's for housing or good education, are made available to the most vulnerable especially.
Yes, that's exactly true. Because what do you feel about the Occupy of Wall Street, with the youth going and, you know, they say, go get your education, get your master's, you know, work hard, and then there's just simply nothing out here for them. I mean, that we had a big thing there, you know.
Yeah. Well, the Occupy Wall Street movement did bring forth the need for some important understanding about how our economy is in such a way that it's unaffordable. There's no question about that. And Wall Street has we have to probably do more to get Wall Street to be more accountable and to be able to be more useful in terms of addressing some of these economic problems. And so that movement was a very, very important movement towards
especially with the youth being involved.
Not only because the youth were involved, but more importantly because of the message that was being portrayed in terms of some sort of accountability with respect to Wall Street. So that movement, I think, especially was important because, as you point out, it was led by our young people, and it showed that the movements of the past had not really gone away. You know, that I would imagine that people like Dr. Martin Luther King and others were smiling down in praise and support of our young people being out there And I know it was very, very inspiring when I went down there a few times to watch them and to participate with them. It showed that, contrary to popular opinion that was sometimes being portrayed, our young people do care. Our young people are involved. Our young people are prepared for leadership opportunities, and it's our role to help make those opportunities available to them and to support them in their endeavors to create the kind of changes that are not only good for them but are good for all of us.
Right. And that voting, that voting registration.
Voting is important.
On that.
Yeah,
you
got to keep the faith and register and vote. Now, vote for the person or persons that are doing the job and that are carrying the vision and the ideas that are important to you and important to our communities. So, we can never say enough about the struggles that have taken place in the past so that the door of opportunity to register, to vote, to participate would be made available. And so, if not for yourself, at least out of respect for those who did the struggle, we should make sure that we're participating. And there's really no excuse not to.
That's right. And you can't complain if you don't do something about it.
Well, you should complain and do something about it. You should complain and do something about it. Now, if you complain and don't do something about it, it kind of makes your complaint a little hollow. So your complaint needs action behind it.
That's right.
It's like what comes out of your mouth needs to be followed up with some action. And so we encourage people to complain, and we encourage people to act, to get involved. There's all kinds of ways in which we can contribute with our involvement, whether it's in terms of our home life, whether it's in terms of our community, our block association, our tenant association, our children's schools, our faith-based institutions. There's a lot of opportunity for us to contribute, either in terms of voting or being active in one way or another. So I think that this season coming up is a season for us to reflect on how that has happened in the past and how we can become a part of that for the future.
I agree. I know that the youth got out and voted for Obama.
Of course.
It was just something that was amazing. It was something that, everybody just stuck together and just really did what we had to do.
Made history.
And I'm hoping that we can keep it up for certainly for the better, not for the worse.
Sure, and not just for the president of the United States, but there's people who are your governors who make very important decisions about your family and your community and your schools and your housing opportunities. There are people who you should be voting for or against, who are running your city. There are people who, like myself, who represent you in state government as a senator or as an assembly member. So wherever there's an opportunity to vote, you should vote, because that is your way of making a choice and sending a message as to what your needs are and what the needs of your neighbors are and your family and your community. And so I know sometimes people feel, well, it doesn't make a difference, but it does make a difference. It makes more of a difference when you don't vote than when you do vote, because when you don't vote, you are counted out. When you do vote, you're counted in. And it's better to be in than to be out.
That's exactly true. Let's just touch a little bit, because I know you have to go. What do you think about the health care? What can we do? I know you always say health is wealth.
Your health is your wealth is one of the things that we've always tried to pay attention to, and so what we need to do is to have the kind of health care that people can afford, and so we believe that this president is attempting to move in the right direction as far as that concerned, but we need to see that kind of vision also carried out on a state level as well as a city level. But again, we have to recognize that, especially in some of our communities, we're in a health crisis. And so we need that kind of urgency from our elected officials, whether it's myself or others, to guarantee that health is available to all.
That's right. And that's
universal health care
is expensive again.
It's too expensive. It should be universal. And I think there are other countries in other parts of the world that have recognized the importance of universal health care, so that
and show us concrete examples too by having theirs universal and affordable or free too.
And so they're healthier. The statistics indicate that as a society, in many respects, they're healthier. So We should not have a situation in which a person's health is at risk because they cannot afford it.
Right. You know, I know the struggles, and I survived of cancer and just a lot of different things, but I know that it's really bad for people that are really sick, that have these issues, and then especially if they need to see a private doctor for some extent. And it's just incredible because we know that living and life is just a human right anyway.
Yeah, sure.
You know
sure.
what I mean? So that's why it's so important that we have great government officials like you that can realize this and also pass it on, because somewhere around we forgot about environment. We forgot about things that, you know, that really matter. And I think maybe that might even be the problem with our weather being so weird.
Could be. I mean, there are concerns about what we're doing that is affecting the climate changes. And
the animals are jumping out and coming out, and bears and all kind of things.
Sure, sure.
Is it that we're taking all their trees by luxury apartments and building so much and not letting them have their own space?
It could be that. I honestly can't speak with any expertise about it, but clearly it's an area of concern that we need to be paying more attention to and get a grip on exactly what we are doing wrong and what we need to do right to correct it, because it's the future of our young people especially, and as well as our environment in general that's at stake. So the movement around the environment, I think, is very, very important in that regard, and we want to be supportive of those folks who are in such movements because they are alerting us to what we're doing that is leading to our own destruction and is cheating our future young leaders, young people, of the kind of environment that will enable them to be healthy and be able to sustain their own families and their own communities as well. So that is a significant part of our agenda that has to be addressed, and we're looking forward at some point in seeing on a national level as well as a state level some more priority being given to issues related to the environment.
Yes, that is so true. And I want to thank you so much, because that's really something when we look out and it's December, wintertime, and we're just now starting to get a little cold air. It's very scary.
Yeah, well, I don't want to say for me it's scary, because I kind of enjoy the warm weather. though I must say that I'm not an environmental scientist, but I do wonder what's going on, and so I'm hopeful, and that this is not a bad sign.
Right. Well, I know that they said thousands of birds, last year, just blackbirds just fell out of the sky dead. That just died from the atmosphere or whatever. So if that's going to kill the birds, what's next?
I'm not sure what's killing them.
Yeah, they never said.
Yeah, I know. So I don't want to.
But when they say thousands, I'm thinking that's more than one or two. If it was one or two, but thousands of blackbirds falling out of the sky. Well, and how about our water supply? Is that just as dangerous or not?
Well, I think we have to look at every fundamental life-sustaining aspect of our environment as something too precious not to look at.
Absolutely.
We have to be vigilant about this, not only when thousands of birds fall out of the sky, but before they fall out of the sky. We have to be preventive about our water supply. We have to be preventive about our air pollution. We have to be preventive about lead paint poisoning. We have to be preventive about all those things that sometimes we don't pay attention to until it hits us in the head, and then maybe sometimes it's too late. So we have been somewhat careless in terms of recognizing how we are contributing to our own demise. While we may think we are being modern and we think that we're being successful, maybe because money is being made, but at the expense of what is this money being made? Are we being careless about our health, and are we being careless about our future as we are being preoccupied with making the dollar and not taking in consideration what are we cutting corners on and for that end? So there's a lot of vigilance, a lot of carefulness that we have to use a lot of caution that we have to regain and stop taking some aspects of our life for granted, and recognize that it's that we have a responsibility and actually a privilege to have that responsibility to making sure that we're taking care of our environment. And
for many generations
to come. Not just for this generation, but forever.
Yes.
Okay.
That's exactly
and God
true.
willing, that we will, use our technology, we'll use our resources to take care of, not simply exploit our environment, but to treasure our environment, to nurse our environment, to help our environment so it can help us.
That's exactly true. Wow. And that was so profound and so...
Well, I can't thank you enough for this opportunity to join you on this show, and I'm really hopeful that we can follow up.
We certainly will be able to, we certainly will follow up as soon as you can.
Because, if we're getting ready to go into the holiday season, and so maybe between Christmas and the New Year, we can get together and do sort of a retrospective on what has happened in the past year and what should we be looking forward to in the next year.
I would be delighted and honored if you could come in and share with us.
By all means, it would be a privilege for me if that could be arranged. I would love to do
it. Would be arranged, I guarantee it.
You're very kind. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, great Senator. And we want to thank our guest, the Senator. We have a few minutes left. However, what we're going to do today is we just Senator's just touching on a few things, and we're going to give him enough time to come back to us and get some more information, facts, and get back with us. But everything he said was definitely profound and truthful. I want to be clear on that. But it was just amazing that he took time out of his busy schedule today. It's the holidays, but we won't hold the Senator up, but we do thank him, and we will have him back very, very soon.
The sooner the better, and if it's available, I would like to have an opportunity to speak to your listening audience. Maybe they have some questions, maybe they have some criticisms, maybe they have some concerns. If you have the facility to we can in the future.
Oh, sure, we do actually have that studio, and I will make sure that next time we have arranged that.
I'd love to hear from them and give them an opportunity to share their points of view, their criticisms, their concerns, whatever it is on their mind. I'd like to have that kind of dialogue, that kind of engagement. If it's up to you.
It is definitely. We can certainly do that. Just the idea that you say that, it's just wonderful, because most of us are used to individuals just cutting corners and not talking about anything of importance and just worrying about...
Open mic, so to speak. Open the phones. Let's hear from the voices of the people out there. Let's hear. And tell me what I'm not doing right.
Well, you are awesome, because that is why we vote, to have people like you that are in office to protect us, the people.
Well, it's a privilege.
Yes.
It's a great privilege.
And it's an honor to have someone that really has that within. It's nothing phony about this. He's coming to us and asking. He already gave you his email. He gave you his number. So that's an open invitation to me already that they can just contact you, and they will.
Yes.
I know that they will. But it's just incredible that we have such a wonderful senator with so much substance of honesty, and to really make the world change, the kind of change that we really need in the world. So I'm just honored.
Thank you so much.
Just honored. He actually had a couple of more minutes, but the thing is, with your schedule, we could.
Thank you for checking out this interview by Senator Perkins. Now check out this beautiful performance by Stacy, who is Gina's friend, on Talk S.E.L.F. with Gina Hunt.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight last gleaming, whose broad stripes waves and bright stars through